This was how your destiny was decided, and it's been decided since that day. It's been a long time since I've had one of these phone calls. Slip and slide, the most fun you'll ever have getting hurt. Raise your hand if you used to draw like this in childhood. I still do. How old were you when you found out the cop in the beginning of Home Alone is the robber? You're late as hell, bro. If you know what this is, your childhood was awesome. This was like one of those guns, right? My daughter is back home from college and discarded several childhood toys to the shed. I got up early this morning to do some fathering, and now we wait. We used to be a proper country. I haven't won anything from Monopoly. Have you guys won anything? At some point in your childhood, you and your friends went outside to play together for the last time, and nobody knew it. The 90s cool uncle 4th of July starter pack. Kids today will never know the pain of copying notes from this. When mum brushed your hair with this, she also brushed your ears, forehead, neck, and brain. Y'all remember in first grade when we were just chilling in class, then somebody threw up out of nowhere. The perfect 90s clock doesn't exist. Hey, 2000s too. Society, if MTV would have just kept playing music. 6-year-old me trying to change the traffic light with my mind. When it turns green after the third try, it's my power. 7-year-old me and my cousin arguing. My cousin, we're not cousins anymore. Me. My dream workplace is the Unsolved Mysteries call center. Juice tasted 10 times better out of these carbs. If you're a 90s kid, you have the same freckle on one of your arm in the same spot. If this is the future, I would rather live in the past. I'd rather just live. If you used one of these back in the day, chances are you're immune to everything. We all know that one friend who still has one of these. Well, of course I know him. He's me. How I used to scroll through pictures before Instagram. I know a 3-flavored popcorn tin hates to see me coming. How 90s kids learned about science. Magic School Bus. Bill Nye the Science Guy. Actual School. The ending on every 80s music. It's just a fade of the volume. Nobody. 9-year-old me. Wait, are you putting sugar in your cereal? I've never seen this before. I never did this. It's only a short trip. Enjoy it. But it's the longest thing we'll ever experience. Streetlights on. Better get my butt home. I'm about to buy this. I haven't slept good in a while. Who remembers doing this on the last day of school? If you went through these stages in your childhood, then you deserve a veteran's discount. If you owned these shoes, it's time for night serum. You know you failed if your teacher handed your paper back like this. Hey, I've definitely experienced this a lot. Had no cough, ate the entire box. Proof of how easily entertained we were as kids. Give me an iPad, give me Minecraft, and I'm entertained. Elementary school in the early 2000s. This was one of my favorite things to do as a kid. Who remembers tabletop Pac-Man at Pizza Hut? The strainer every family owned back in the day. Candy corn gets all the slander every year. Meanwhile, Trash Circus peanuts go by every year with no smoke. Biggest disappointment of my childhood. Expectation, reality. I'm walking up to the teacher's desk acting like I need help so I can see mine and the other students grades years old. I'm still annoyed that Doritos took the window off the bag because I always like to assess the seasoning level prior to purchase. Parents be like, here's 4 boxes of your old elementary schoolwork you left at the house. Parents, I found your 4th grade report card. I'm 39 years old. I'll put it in the mail, and I'm so happy to see it. Adults having breakfast at a friend's apartment before heading off to work is the biggest lie television ever told me. Edward Norton still talks to himself after all these years. Sneaking a piece of candy. This was the loudest lid. You're old as dirt if you remember doing this thing. Me, rolling into your feed with nostalgia memes. My daughter was wearing a flannel hoodie, so I said, hey, the 90s are cooling. And she replied, yeah, because they couldn't text. And damn, I'm getting really tired of my kids owning me. POV, you're sick in the 2000s. Picks up 5 times more women than a Lamborghini. Technically true, yeah. Lamborghini can only pick up 1. This has to be one of the saddest deaths in cinematic history. And it's an ant. This generation will never know the struggle. Me, having a nostalgic flashback in 2070 when my grandkids asks, what was your childhood like? A lot of games and a lot of fun. Not gonna lie, getting sucked into Jumanji for 30 years doesn't sound too bad right now. Judy Garland's famous ruby slippers from The Wizard of Oz have reportedly sold for 28 million! I feel like these should be in a museum, not a random person's house. Before Crocs, we had these. Who remembers the old TV trays? We didn't know it back then, but your teacher was definitely hungover when this thing rolled into class. Or they were just feeling very lazy. We're so old, we remember when Sugar Daddy was just a candy. If you remember this guy, you were probably the younger sibling, or you had a great childhood playing Mario. How your childhood game actually looks and how you remember it. Before iTunes and Spotify, there was this. The grapes that were sitting on just about every grandma's coffee table back in the day. No sleep will ever compare to the nights I spent wrapped up in this blanket for all of the 90s. How I used to check out books. For more than 30 years, Plastic Garfield Garfield phones have been washing up on French beaches. The mystery has finally been solved. A shipping container from a ship that sank in the 1980s was found in a hidden cave. No one knows why, but at some point in the 90s, every kid owned this jacket. I'm jumping over the heater furnace in the floor, old. Only the real can relate. People in 1997, when a robotic voice on the radio said, "Around the world." These were the NFTs of my childhood. If you know why the corner is taped, you're officially old. Apparently you're supposed to add water to the markers. They're dry on purpose. This whole time I always thought I had a dry set. Kool-Aid always tasted better when it was poured out of this pitcher. The original Chuck E. Cheese definitely looks like he would tell a child to get lost while ashing his cigar on their pizza. Doing homework at 3 a.m. It's like you're studying but you're not really studying because you're just so tired. And then when you wake up, you've forgotten everything you were studying. My body functions at its highest level when I am eating fresh and seasoned produce. You just had to be there. We knew how to class up paper plates in the 80s. You smell so good, what are you wearing? And now it's that sad time of the year when Mariah Carey must return to the ocean, only to re-emerge next Christmas. Corn pops out of that foil bag just hit different. I've discovered a new game called Dance Attack, where I blast 80s music and dance in the general direction of my kids, and they scream at me to stop as if they're being Parenting is easy when you want to know, but don't want to be obvious. The Federal Reserve says the McAllisters were 1%ers in Home Alone. After working on it every day, converting it to turbo and painting it yellow, my childhood Gran Turismo dreams have come true. The PSP. Me, crouched in front of the used video games section for 2 hours. Would you rather get hunted down by the Terminator or the Predator? Terminator. He'll make my death quick, I think. Or quicker. Teacher. Name a book that made you cry. Me. Algebra. Today in 1987, your school served you this for lunch and you were excited about it. School pizza was actually good though. I enjoyed it. Can you please stop making new flavors? Either put the drop back in or leave it the hell alone. Eating alone in school. Wow, I feel so self-conscious. I'm miserable. Eating alone now at work. This is the most relaxing part of my day. Always looked forward to seeing these set out for gym class. Races and obstacle courses. Timeless. The age I consider old. My age. This setup would heal me. This is the Frutiger era setup. If you guys don't know, that is my favorite aesthetic. I love it. In the future, when I'm a billion trillionaire, I'm nearly a trillionaire, I'm gonna get a house and I'm gonna make it like this. I feel like it's not an exaggeration to say this is one of the most shocking product changes in the history of food and beverage. Why? It didn't need to be changed. Home security reminder. A lot of people are going away for Christmas, which makes their homes easy pickings for burglars. For security reasons, I strongly recommend leaving one of your children behind to construct a series of elaborate booby traps and defend your interests. When the motion sensor sink in the bathroom doesn't work. Any 90s kid will know this is the greatest bobsled team of all time. Who remembers ankle zipper jeans? I do not remember these. I feel bad for people who never got to taste chicken that came out of this. I swear this thing added its own spices. Why, does it just make it taste a lot better? Excuse me while I process that Macaulay Culkin is now older than Catherine O'Hara was when she played his mum in Home Alone. I legitimately have no idea what anybody under 30 is saying anymore. What generation does Forrest Gump belong to? What? Gen A. I don't get it. When you see me at work and I say I'm living the dream, this is the dream I'm referring to. As a kid, this toy led me to believe that parking garages would be way more fun than they actually are. There's a small bookshop, adult scholastic book fair, at a local brewery. They vastly misunderstood the demand. Doctor, you're in your 20s. You shouldn't have stomach problems this bad. My childhood everyday snack. This generation won't ever understand how good it felt to be in the horror section at Blockbuster on a Friday night. Scents we will never forget. I could never forget crayons. And also smelly pencils. And smelly stickers. Ah, that is nostalgic. This was a snack when I was growing up. Wait, salt and tomato. Ew. Something that I miss about childhood? Well, people don't ask me what my favorite shape is anymore. Adults just don't do this. It's a triangle in case you were wondering. You don't care. I do care. What is your favorite shape? Let me know in the comment. 2 truths about the 80s. Malls were awesome. The record store was their heartbeat. You won't have a calculator everywhere you go, said your 8th grade math teacher. Yeah, about that. Lord, somebody done faded up the Michael Myers mask. Was there anything better than going out to eat at Pizza Hut back in the day? I can hear and smell this picture. Today's kids will never know the struggle of making your own ankle socks. I couldn't do this. I'm very particular with my socks. I wear a lot of my socks inside out because I don't like the lining touching my feet. My wife wanted to have a conversation about me being too childish, but she didn't know the password to get in. Tapes had side A and side B, so it's only logical that their successor would be the CD. Who remembers these orange Nickelodeon VHS tapes? Growing up, I never knew if if I was opening the butter or leftovers. It was rarely butter. We've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. Her, babe, I just got my new swimsuit. What do you think? My brain, don't say Andre the Giant. Don't say. Don't be so hard on yourself. The mum in E.T. had an alien living in her house for days and didn't notice. Who remembers these chairs? I remember something similar, not quite like these, but yeah, something very similar. We still talk about you. If you never made a mixtape without one of these, don't argue music with me. My kids will never know that awful feeling of realizing that there is no VHS tape behind the box at the video store. I wonder what the part of my brain that used to store people's phone numbers is doing now. Being empty. Spielberg was only 26 when he made Jaws. Michael Jackson was only 24 when he recorded Thriller. S.E. Hinton was only 19 when The Outsiders was published. It's too late. You need to give up. This is what a Big Mac looked like when I was growing up. I have more in common with Freddie Mercury than I previously realized. Only true music fans will get this. I don't think this is very hard to understand. We will rock out. Who remembers playing computer games at school? I remember playing a Batman game all the time after school. Same with a Hulk game where you have to smash on the cars. This is how houses are supposed to look. How did we go so wrong as a society? Oh yeah, I actually live in a tree right now. It's a concrete tree. When you were a kid trading candy, how it looked versus how we felt. Mentally, I'm here. You don't know pain until you ran around your grandma's house barefoot and ran on this. Here's a rare photo of how my parents supposedly got to and from school. Pinky and the Brain were based on two producers at Warner Bros. Animation, and I can't get over how they really just drew these guys as mice without changing anything else. Kids today want $1,000 cell phones. We just wanted this tacky mess. All I wanted was a moon ball. 7 months ago I bought one, and it smacked me in the eye. And I got a migraine from it. It was awful. Kids today will never know the real back to school shoes. I remember the old days when snap, crackle, and pop were sounds that came from my cereal and not my body. Image of childhood obesity in 1971 versus 2005. I'm at the age where I won't make eye contact with someone because they looked like a talker. Really? I sometimes struggle making eye contact with people because I'm too busy trying to keep eye contact than listening to what they're saying. Therapist. So when do you think your anxiety started? Me. Breaking. Nickelodeon's iconic game show, Legends of the Hidden Temple, is getting a reboot, but this time it's strictly for adult players. I don't even know what this game is. If the 1990s had a smell, this would be it. Today's 7-year-olds have seen iPhones and Xbox. Me at 7. I am Iron Man. Who else made one of these hand turkeys back in the day? Kids these days will never know how serious field day was. Dear old people, waking up at 6 a.m., tending to a garden, eating dinner at 5 p.m., reading books, and going to bed at 6:30 feels amazing. I was wrong, you were right. A Toys R Us employee found a boxed copy of Mario Kart 64 under their shelves. Aren't these really expensive? Obviously they're in really good condition. Gen Z will never understand the absolute grip this baby had on our culture. Mosquitoes. Mums in the 90s. Have you ever thought to yourself, what's the most 90s thing that could ever feasibly exist? Well, wonder no more. Who should be the last horror icon to be added to the horror icon Mount Rushmore? Me. What being sick looked like as a kid in the 80s. How do I know you would be a good father? I've kept this thing alive for weeks, babe. I've got this. Suppressing every childhood video game urge in me right now. Due to the increase in gas prices, a man hanging from the passenger side of his best friend's ride is no longer a scrub. He is a man making smart financial decisions, and I'm intrigued. Not a cell phone in sight, just people living in the moment. So many beats were made. Your mama jokes told, sports arguments, table football jokes, arm wrestling, and notes being passed to this table. Ruined my childhood. Ralph isn't Chief Wiggum's son. What? If I talk to you while I'm driving, I genuinely like you, because that's supposed to be my music time. Well, this restaurant wins forever. I want to go back to the days when my biggest anxiety was stopping the cassette tape before the DJ started speaking when recording the top 10. Used to be a fun adventure. Now you can't stand being there. If you have a favorite pattern, your back hurts when you wake up now. McDonald's called out order 867 and I yelled 5309 and nobody laughed, and then I felt old and ate my burger in the playground. I wouldn't have laughed. I don't know. Interviewer, do you have any sales experience? Me. If this image doesn't immediately start a long forgotten song in your head, can you even call yourself Gen X? Like when you see it. Kid, I'm so bored. Parents, here, sit down on the floor and spin around on this toy until you have to vomit. It's never explicitly explained how the Brady Bunch had access to Zoom in the 1970s. No, you live in a society. I live in my meticulously crafted daydream universe that I've been using as a coping mechanism since childhood. I love nature this time of year. Only real ones know this building. The Power Rangers. Aren't you thankful that your childhood happened to be before technology took over? over. I mean, technology's kind of always, but you mean like technology consuming most people's day? Yeah, maybe. You don't actually want to play GoldenEye 007. You want to return to a time in your life where you didn't understand how bills work. Mortality was just a game mechanic, and making new friends was as simple as playing GoldenEye in a friend's basement. The consoles I owned growing up, according to my mum, Nintendo, 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 Nintendo. It was always a great day when these two showed up in a Bugs Bunny cartoon. I'm this old. Meanwhile, back in the 1990s. And in 2025, people love baggy jeans. There are two types of people in the morning. Being an adult is terrible, but I thank God every day that I didn't have to randomly run a mile at noon against my will, and then go on about my day like we did in school. Whose school had a field day during the last week of school back in the day? This is the only version of this sign that's acceptable. Look, I'm not saying kids today don't have it tough at school, but we had to chew these and everyone knew who didn't brush their teeth. Hey guys, wanna feel old? I'm 40. You're welcome. Middle school really had us eating pizza at 10:30 a.m. in a room with a stage in it. Yak Back. It just recorded your voice and played it back. That's it. That's the toy. And it was so entertaining, but I didn't use it. But I've used something similar. Opens email inbox. Brand I bought one gift from months ago. 1989. I bet there will be flying cars in the future. An opened copy of Super Mario Bros. Sells for a record 2 million. What? Like, did you really live your full school experience if you didn't get kicked out of science class? 9-year-olds want the latest iPhone. When I was 9, I just wanted this. Kids today are missing out on the pre-streaming era, where your childhood was at least partially defined by some semi-obscure movie your family just happened to own on tape, and you watched several dozen times. I remember watching Stuart Little a lot. Why are Christmas movies always about dads who don't spend time with their kids? A lot of you didn't spend your Friday nights in the horror section of your local video rental store, and it shows. Yeah, I was scared of horror films. They would give me nightmares. Even now they give me nightmares. Paranormal ones, not like just serial killer ones. I'm not scared of that. I'm scared of ghosts. I think that's more likely to happen than me getting I don't know. My stepmom told me I'd be a janitor. Nothing wrong with that. And live in the basement of a school and play guitar for rats. I wrote a song about her. It's called Little Miss Can't Be Wrong. It's been played on the radio 3 million times. People born between 2000 to 2003 had the exact same childhood as you late 90s babies. So don't act entitled. You don't even remember the 90s. Some of you will never had to read 100 books to get a personal pan pizza, and it really shows. R2-D2 ain't a snitch. He knew Anakin was Vader, pretended to not know who Yoda and Obi-Wan were, and shut himself down when Luke didn't want to be found. No wonder he was trusted with the Death Star plans. R2 is the ultimate ride or die droid. I'm sorry ladies, but if your dude recognizes this car, then he ain't loyal because he's been cheating since his childhood. When your kid says, "You never buy me anything," 1990s teachers really used to see this outfit and lose their mind. Advice for young people: you gotta be bold, bad, wiser, hard, tough, stronger, calm, cool, together. All I know, love will save the day. Before Kmart goes away, I want to say thank you. 45 years ago, your store hired my single mum and let her 5-year-old son sit in the cafe when she worked. I played in shoes and clothes for hours. That job kept us going for 20 years. Thank you for your personal. This is greatly appreciated. Welcome to your 40s. The first song you ever made out to is now on a commercial showing how you can live an active life with Crohn's disease. The mask in Halloween is actually William Shatner's face. The production crew bought the cheapest mask they could find at a Halloween store, which happened to be William Shatner. They spray painted it white. My 11-year-old son just discovered Tetris. Came home to him boasting about scoring 15,000 points. Cracked my knuckles and played for the first time in 25 years. Dropped 73,000 points on his head. Now he's angrily muttering to himself, and I'm doing karate kicks on the front porch. Kids today are soft. I died once when I was 5, and my mum made me walk it off. I'll never forget the first time I went backstage in a wrestling video game. It made me feel like anything was possible. I remember my friend putting me on wrestling. He was Liam. He was American and he joined the school. And he put me on wrestling. We used to wrestle all the time. Oh man, wonder what he's doing now. There are just so many people that you used to speak to or were really friendly with, like best friends. And now it's just like dead silent because you both have kind of grown up. I mean, we could make the effort and try and reach out to each other, but nah, I don't know. I care, but I don't care. I think some things are better left in the past, you know? Remember the days of taking a whole camera with you on a night out? I'm going to Croatia soon with some of my friends and I have a GoPro and I'm thinking about bringing it. I think that can make some funny videos. Do you guys want me to do that? Like a little vlog?